Every guy has something they're addicted to. Probably every woman too. I know that a lot of women are addicted to shoes and purses and whatnot. And I've noticed as I've gotten older, I'll be 63 in about a week or so, that a lot of guys are addicted. I thought it was just me, but it turns out a lot of guys are addicted to watches. And some guys have multiple addictions. Guns. I love guns. Uh, Not because of what they do, but because there's something deeper to these things. Each gun has its own personality. It's just and each watch, they're so mechanically cool. And I have like no knowledge, no deep knowledge at all on watches and value of watches and whatnot. But I must own, I don't know, man. I probably have 30 watches at least. I don't even have to count them. But I've been looking around because I've gotten some, I stuck with certain brands for a while. I really got into Movados for a long time, and I love Movados. But when I started looking at the internet, which is still kind of a new concept to old guys like me, I mean, it's just amazing that you can just, any subject, you can check it out. So I started running watches, and I find out that there's a million channels where people are talking about watches, and I love them. They're all very interesting. And there's so many people that are so educated on the history of various watches and, the value of various watches. But I find it, so I thought, okay, so what are you going to do? Start doing watch videos? And I'm thinking maybe I will, because I have a different view on it. Maybe it's not unique, but it's not what you normally see, because I love all watches. And I mean, I am just as happy with a, $50 watch as I would be with a Rolex. If that $50 watch was appealing to me in terms of the way it felt, the way it looked, and it worked reasonably well. Of course, I'm getting a phone call right in the middle of my video. You can't make this shit up. Let me just hang up on him. It's my son. Sorry, Brent. But am I still rolling? Yeah. So regardless of the monetary value of it, if it makes me happy, I'm like a crow, something shiny and cool. I just am drawn to it, and I love it. And so in my watch collection, and if I continue this theme, you'll see I have everything on both ends of the spectrum except the high end, because I am not really the kind of guy that would spend, 10, 20, $30,000 or more on a watch. Even if I had that kind of money, I just don't think I would, because unless I'm totally wrong, I think you're just basically paying for the brand name. I like the Rolex Submariner. That's the only Rolex model that I could cite to you. I know there's other models, but that's the one I like. But when you think about it, it doesn't really look that much different than many other watches that I've seen that have that same style and the same color patterns. But it's a Rolex. I would like to have one, but ain't no way I'm dropping $10,000 for a watch. I wouldn't do it. So with that being said, one of my friends gave me a gift a while back, and it was an Invicta. And oddly enough, because I don't watch TV anymore, I haven't watched TV in years, I was not familiar with the brand. And now I've learned that, they were sold a lot on a certain channel, like the shopping network type thing. And that, they're big watches. And the one he gave me is really cool, and I don't have it in my hands, or I'd show it to you. I'll do it the next video. But I ended up getting another one yesterday that just happened to be an Invicta. And I'm like, one of the fun things about getting watches is to research them. And I have spent yesterday and today, realizing that Invicta is like a completely hated watch brand by watch, aficionados. There are channels dedicated to hating Invicta. And for some of the reasons I understand, because they are very big and they're heavy. This is the one I got, and you can see this is the Grand Diver. And you can see, I mean, it's a chunky watch. But I'm 6'4". So to me, I can't stand little watches that they just don't take up much space. So I like a big watch. And yeah, this thing weighs as much as a can of refried beans. But I like the fact that it's got such substance to it. And so I started reading about the history of Invicta. I was amazed that they go back to the 1800s, and they were a Swiss company that got bought out by an American company and blah, blah, blah. You guys probably know all that stuff. But, it's funny when you read the comments on those videos, there are endless comments of people that have had an Invicta watch forever and ever. They have the other one. This is the Grand Diver, and what was the other one they have? I can't think of it. It's another diving watch. It's super popular, and I think it's priced at about 150 bucks. But like one guy was diving, and he found one on the bottom of the floor of the ocean. My son keeps calling, poor guy, and he picked it up, put a new battery in. It's worked for years. People love them. You know, they function well. And I mean, a lot of what I've seen talked about in a negative are the things I like. Now, this is all going to be backwards because I'm using the front-facing phone thing. But like, look at that. I think that is cool. The little diver emblem on both sides. That is badass. And this is a limited edition 1776 series. So there's not a lot of information on this watch. I don't even know what year this came out. If one of you knows, please tell me because I can't find it on the internet. But, you know, look at the just the detail, the level of detail on this thing is to me very cool. You know, I mean, and it's got the Cyclops over the date, and that just like the Rolex style, so you can really see the date very clear. And you know, when you get into my age, it's hard to see things. I have no problem seeing it, and it's got Invicta all over it, and people hate that for some reason, but I like it. You can see it says Invicta there, and then over here it says Grand. What does it say? Grand Diver. And then if you look at the bottom, it's an automatic movement. I don't know if you can see that, but that's pretty cool. I mean, to me, what's not to like about this? And as I would, I get asked a lot as a firearms guy, what is what gun do you recommend somebody will be wanting to get a gun for the first time. What's the best gun? They'll ask me that. And I'm going to give the same answer for watches because I always give the same answer with firearms. You know, when somebody tells you the best weapon that you should buy, I would be wary of them because honestly, the best firearm is the one that you can hit the target with consistently. I personally like carrying a 45, nothing smaller than a 40 caliber. But I can manage that recoil. But if you're somebody, a smaller person or a woman or somebody that you have weaker hands and you can shoot the 45 all day, but you can't hit anything with it, then you're wasting your ammunition and putting everybody else in danger. But if the only thing that you can hit consistently with is a 32 or a 38 or a 22, then that's your weapon. That's the one that's for you, in my opinion. It's the one that you do best with. And I would say the same with watches. If you, like I'll be honest, when I saw this watch in the case, I was walking by and I thought, man, that's a gaudy watch. And I just kept looking around and I kept going back to it. And I thought, but although it is kind of cool, red, white, and blue, I like that. And then I was looking away and I was like, man, that thing is pretty big. And then I leaned over and I was like, oh, it's an Invicta. It's the second Invicta I've seen. And the other one that you'll see in maybe another video is big too. And so then I was like, hey, can I check this out? Guy pulls it out and he hands it to me. And man, I just fell in love with it. And I've been wearing it. I slept with it last night. I just spit. Part of getting old. But yeah, I mean, it fits my, I had to take a link off of it, to make the band fit better. But to me, it feels good. It looks good. I couldn't be happier with it. And so if you're just getting into watches and you don't have $10,000 or $3,000 or $2,000 to spend on a watch, check out Invicta. They do have some pretty gaudy watches that are like overly blinged out. But they also have a lot of options. There's some other brands that I'm just now finding out about that I'm really interested in. So who knows? Maybe I'll get one of those and we'll check that out. But in the meantime, I've got enough watches to where I can go over some of those and give you the pros and cons. I'll tell you from experience, the short time I've been using the Invicta, yeah, if I had a small wrist or I was a small person, it might be too much. But if you're I'm not trying to insult small people because that's not, I don't have any feelings about size in terms of humans, but big guys with little teeny watches, that looks weird to me. If you like big things that stand out, man, what is not to like about this bad boy? What do you guys think? Have you tried Invicta? Do you think they actually suck? I can't find anybody that says that they're not accurate or that the mechanisms suck. I think the issue people have are, one, I think some people need to have a very expensive watch because they feel somehow that, they're, I don't know. It's like they need to have that what's the word I'm looking for? Prestige of having a very high dollar watch. But if I had a $10,000 watch on, I'd be afraid to wear it every day, honestly, because I bang watches up. I do it all the time. I mean, I'm moving around a lot and I'm bumping into shit. And if I was diving, I don't know if I would dive with a Submariner on. I'd feel a lot better with this because if I lost this or broke this, I'm not gonna, it's not the end of. And I think this one now, this is more of a high end Invicta because most of the Invictas that you look at are like $100 watches, $150 watches, and they're awesome. You got to check them out if you're not familiar with it. This one is about $500, brand new. So that's like their highest. I think that's the highest end, unless there's something I don't know about it, and that's because it's a limited edition. But water proof down to 1,000 feet. I mean, that's pretty cool. I mean, if you're at 1,000 feet, you're on a ship that sunk and you're dead, and it doesn't matter that your watch is still working. The good news is if they ever recover your body, the watch is working, so they can give it to your kids. But yeah, that's a lot of waterproofing. Anyways, that's the end of my video. Tell me what you think. Do you guys want to see more watch videos, or should I just keep on doing other stuff that makes everybody mad? Let me know. Stay safe.